Hey everyone, my name is Josh and welcome back to your fourth stimulus check and news update. We have a lot of news to get into in today's video, but first, if you would like to receive 2 free stocks from Webull valued up to $2,300, make sure to claim them by clicking my link, which you will find in the description box below. Okay, so Joe Biden met with lawmakers on Capitol Hill on Friday, where he hoped to push forward negotiations on the two major bills currently going on in Congress, with progressive Democrats warning they wouldn't vote for the bipartisan bill unless a deal was first struck on the reconciliation package. Nancy Pelosi has been refusing to hold a vote on infrastructure. By the end of the day yesterday, Nancy Pelosi left another Dear Colleagues letter, this one stating, "Today, President Biden honored us with his first in-person visit to our caucus. He received a hero's welcome. His presentation on the values of the Biden vision was warmly and enthusiastically received. We look forward to a successful enactment of the Build Back Better Act and bipartisan infrastructure bill. While great progress has been made in the negotiations to develop a House, Senate, and White House agreement on the Build Back Better Act, more time is needed to complete the task. Our priority to create jobs in the healthcare, family, and climate agendas is a shared value. Our chairs are still working for clarity and consensus. Clearly, the bipartisan infrastructure bill will pass once we have an agreement on the reconciliation bill. Tonight, we will pass a critical 30-day extension of the Surface Transportation Authorization. More updates to come. Many thanks to all in our caucus for your energetic and principled leadership for the people." So, as Pelosi states, even though great progress was supposedly made, not quite sure what that was, they still have a long way to go. And understandably, one of the leaders of the moderate Democratic caucus, Josh Gottheimer, was extremely frustrated with Pelosi's broken promises. After being told they would vote on the bipartisan bill by September 27th, if the moderates agreed to the framework on the reconciliation package, they ended up not actually holding the vote. Then, Thursday came around, where Pelosi once again promised they would be holding a vote. And again, no vote was actually had. Then yesterday, once again, Pelosi said they would be holding a vote on the package, and for the third time this week, a vote did not take place. So, due to this frustration, Gottheimer made his own statement on the bill, which said, "It's deeply regrettable that Speaker Pelosi breached her firm public commitment to members of Congress and the American people to hold a vote and pass the once-in-a-century bipartisan infrastructure bill on or before September 27th. Specifically, the Speaker said, quote, "I am committing to pass the bipartisan infrastructure bill by September 27th. I do so with a commitment to rally House Democratic support for its passage." That agreement was scaled with the vote of every Democrat in the House on August 24th, which put the commitment in writing. Along with a group of members, I've been working around the clock to pass the bipartisan infrastructure bill, legislation we helped craft back in April with my Senate colleagues. But a small, far-left faction of the House of Representatives undermined that agreement and blocked a critical vote on the president's historic bipartisan infrastructure bill. The bipartisan infrastructure bill will make generational investments in roads, bridges, tunnels, and public transit, finally build the Gateway Tunnel, expand broadband access, protect communities from lead water, improve climate resiliency, build electric vehicle infrastructure, and help create 2 million jobs every year for a decade. We cannot let this small faction on the far left, who employ Freedom Caucus tactics, as described by the New York Times today, destroy the president's agenda and stop the creation of 2 million jobs a year, including for the millions of hardworking men and women of labor. We were elected to achieve reasonable, common-sense solution for the American people, not to abstract from the far wings. This far-left faction is willing to put the president's entire agenda, including this historic bipartisan infrastructure package, at risk. They put civility and bipartisan governing at risk. I will not stop fighting for the people I represent, and I will not stop fighting to get a historic bipartisan infrastructure bill across the finish line to support the communities, families, and workers of New Jersey." As Gottheimer says, on August 24th, an agreement was made to vote on this bipartisan bill by September 27th. Of course, also during this time, we already saw progressive Democrats coming out and saying they would be against the bipartisan bill if they didn't first pass reconciliation. So I think we all sort of saw this coming, and if you're wondering where Joe Biden is with all this going on, as mentioned earlier, he was on Capitol Hill yesterday, but he made it known that no urgency needed to be had. In a statement, Biden said, "We are going to get this done. It doesn't matter when, it doesn't matter whether it's 6 minutes, 6 days, or 6 weeks. We're going to get this done." And over the past week, Biden has held numerous meetings with Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, where up to this point, not much progress has been made. It's also being reported that Joe Biden has already been lowering his expectations on the reconciliation deal, and he's telling progressive Democrats that they should be willing to accept a smaller package. Rather than shooting for $3.5 trillion, Biden believes they should be shooting for around $2 trillion. And honestly, that's probably a good bit more realistic. At this point, we have Joe Manchin saying his top line number is $1.5 trillion, and progressive Democrats saying their floor is $3.5 trillion. If they were to meet somewhere in the middle, which could be in the $2 trillion range, they might be able to work out a deal. The problem is, it's really hard seeing either side budging, and the Progressive Caucus seems stronger than ever. For this to take place, both sides need to be willing to negotiate. Here is White House Press Secretary Jim Psaki explaining how the current negotiation process is going.
Thank you, Jim. Senators Manchin and Sinema have been wearing out a path between here and Capitol Hill in the past few days. Yesterday, at least, Senator Manchin was forthright with reporters in saying that his top line is $1.5 trillion, which may have some impact on the breadth and length of the reconciliation bill. Does the president have any idea what Senator Sinema wants out of this?
We'll let Senator Sinema speak for herself.
Does he have an idea of what she
We'll
wants?
let Senator speak for what she wants. Go ahead.
Thanks. You just said no matter where we end, if we can get something done here, we're going to have a historic piece of legislation. Are you slightly moving the goalposts there and maybe cushioning for the result being something that previously would have been thought as a disappointment, but now it's just historic anyway?
Well, first of all, I think we know that as I've said many times, that compromise means that some people are going to come down, some people are going to come up. That's a part of what happens here. But what we're talking about is a large package that will have a historic impact on the American people. There's never been a proposal like this that's come even this close to passing that will help lower the cost of child care, of elder care, of universal pre-K, that has done what this package is proposing to do for the climate crisis. So yes, there are of course parameters for what we would or wouldn't be for, but ultimately what they're negotiating around and what members are negotiating around in good faith would be have a historic impact on our economy, a historic impact on people across the country.
Does the president have any specific policy red lines on the reconciliation bill that you could kind of lay out? I know you've done that before on previous legislation.
He understands that he may not get absolutely everything he wants in this package, and others may not get absolutely everything they want in this package. But I'm not going to outline it further from here. I know we've done that in the past, but at this moment in the discussions, I'm not going to do that from here.
Of the policy, you can say he's not letting anyone touch this.
It's all important to him, but I'm not going to outline further detail from here at this point in the discussions.
So again, Psaki mentions how historic this package would be, and she also doesn't disclose whether or not Joe Biden has any red lines in the package. She mentions that not every lawmaker, not even Joe Biden, will get everything they want in this package, but she really doesn't go too much further. So it should be an interesting and difficult month ahead for Democrats, especially House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and President Biden to get the progressive Democrats and the moderate Democrats together to work out some type of deal. So what seemed like a time where both the Bipartisan Infrastructure bill and the reconciliation package would for sure pass, both bills are now in jeopardy. So will moderate Democratic Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema be able to reach a compromise with the Progressive Caucus, or will they remain miles apart and both of these pieces of legislation fall apart? Time will only tell, but it is only October, so time is definitely on their sides. But on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Again, if you would like to receive a couple of free stocks from Webull, make sure to quickly claim them by clicking my link, which you will find in the description box below. To receive the first stock, you will need to fully open an account. Then to receive the second free stock, which will be valued up to $2,000, you'll need to make a qualifying deposit of at least $5. And even if you aren't all that interested in investing or continue to invest at this point in time, you can always sell the free stocks that you receive and transfer that money, however much they're worth, right back to your bank account. So free stocks or free money is completely up to you. So once again, I hope everyone has a great and safe rest of their day, and I'll see you in the next video.